going, mate? How are ya? Sorry, I just did a pull-up, so excuse me if I'm out of breath. Oh, yeah. How you going, mate? So, yeah, I didn't trade for a long time. But I started trading again this week, yesterday, and we made $1.28 between today and yesterday, so not bad, not great. Could be worse, you know? It's just the game. And if we look at the whole full-time whatever, you'll see how small. I know I didn't start in October, but this is how long I did not trade. 1209. This is all stuff we can backtest. Just got caught up in holiday stuff, man. I want to backtest it, but I really don't want to spend that much time. I don't know. You know, it'd be nicer to do short reviews than hour-long backtests again. And right now I'm just on Top Step, so it's just like, it's not even like I'm looking at order flow. But we will take a look at a little bit of order flow today. So here's yesterday. And I swear. So we entered right here, 751 right here. Entered long there, and I swear my profit target was right there. Maybe even closer. We just wicked away from it. So I knew that we'd already made a big move. We were obviously consolidating. I was hoping we would just break through this higher time frame zone and just pop out of there. So that would have been good for. This is one of those things where it's like a mechanical 1-to-1. Like, really should have probably set the take profit at this high. It didn't really bounce off anything specific. Maybe like it didn't even get to this high, which is, you know. And I think at the time there was no obviously since yesterday. There's no volume to speak of up there. It kind of looked like a taper. And if we look on ATAS, a couple things I saw on ATAS was this absorption pop up, this big bubble pop up, and on the higher time frame chart, 1.6, yeah, this was it. On the higher time frame chart, there's this big gap, and I would say that's the biggest tell, is that it was kind of bouncing out of this huge volume gap with all these absorption and high volume shits. At the same time, though, it was like kind of tapering on the day. But I don't, Trading View, Top Step uses Tradeovate, I think. So, no, it uses Trading View. So not, if we're going to rely on a volume profile, let's not put too much stock in that. But it was a taper. So either way, all of these signals that we just looked at are pointing towards maybe getting out right there. And then what you had here, I'm just seeing this now, is a taper in this actual 5-minute candle with a big, and I bet that's like wouldn't be surprised if that is delta, yeah. Big blue delta, big passive sells, right? Or is that aggressive? I think that's passive sells. That's the ask. Man, I don't even remember my. Okay, so all of these signs, big volume, big passive sells right there, taper in the candle, big gap on the 1 hour, big volume here, big absorption here. That's all telling me to get out. And I think given the volume gap, which is this square now that we have, it would be fair to take profit at the top of that candle right there. You know, if not this one right here. But I was being mechanical. I just set a 1-to-1. Maybe a little goofy. Okay, so that was my loss yesterday. I had a 1W yesterday. Where was it? When we came down, when we bounced, just classic, guys. Just a bounce out of the middle. Got in late. I saw it late because I was working, but 674. So right here, right after this candle, probably could get in on this candle. But bounce out of the middle area of the 5-minute opening range. That's what that zone is. Do we need to? We can look at it. Here. So while this wasn't a big bounce, there was a big volume right here in this kind of. So it's obviously a zone. That combined with this being the middle of the range, there's a 5-minute candle bouncing out of it. Pretty nice right there. And then here, oh my goodness, the absorption right here. Here I was all week thinking, oh, it's so great that I'm looking at this simple thing that's just pure price action, but all these signals are here, man, telling me, confirming my trades or denying them. What did it look like on here? Hello. Not the DOM. Oh boy, what happened? Sorry, one sec. Un momento. Did I delete that? No. Okay, it's tripping out right now, but you get the idea with the absorption, the opening range, key area, blah blah blah. Okay. That was yesterday, so I think we came out on top a little bit. Not crazy. 23 bucks. Not horrible. If I had been a little smart about that other one, obviously we would have had better results. But okay, so one loss today, and I didn't. Let's look at the 5-minute. I didn't see any great opportunities today. I was on my phone, but looking back at it, I didn't see anything great going on. This kind of looks like a fake to the upside, but you're turning into a downtrend here. And then what happened to me? I was waiting for it. So it broke through this zone. I would say that's kind of a signal that things are turning. So maybe don't be super bullish anymore. But I was like, maybe it's just waiting for it to get back to POC and this bigger zone here. But actually, the opening range was also down here. So it's not. And guess what it did, actually, now that I'm looking at it, when it got to the opening range. But I wasn't. Jesus, how do you use this thing? 30. It bounced off the top, baby. Classic. Still hasn't broken below it. And there's this big volume gap there. But I was bullish when I should have been, but I did take this because it was so low risk. I think I took like 12 points of damage here. 10 points, So, but I just literally took a green candle bounce out of this thing on the off chance. I was like, I don't know. It's getting late in the day. Saw a cheap entry, and I took it. But that was that. I really don't see anything. I guess a bounce either off the top rate. Actually, this. No, Oh, hang on. This looks okay. A bounce off the top ski. In this 1 minute zone. And that's not a good 5 minute candle to buy on, really. But you could have taken the 1 minute bounce off the top plus that zone, and that would have taken you for pretty much the whole day. The next one was here, so I'm lying. There were opportunities today. Next one's here. Just another bounce. But this didn't break any highs, so I wouldn't be as confident in this. Meanwhile, this one that we just talked about, the first bounce, not only is there not a lot of volume down here, and it's the top of the opening range, the zone, when the zone was created, it broke above this high back here, this overnight high. So that's a pretty good sign. So let's put an arrow right here, because that's a good, you know what I'm saying? Jeepers creepers. I'm just going to put this right there. Buy that. You buy that. And then this. What do you do with that? You could buy that if you wanted. It's risky. That big long boy. But it's kind of just bouncing off the top. There's volume down here, but it hasn't wanted to go back down there. It's kind of tapering a little bit. Not the best volume profile, but yeah. So I would say they kind of front loaded the opportunity, and then, you know, we've seen this happen before. It just breaks down, and the zones are very clear, but they don't hold up. What did hold up was the opening range. Well, let's see what those look like. 1002, 1002, 1018. 30. I haven't took a sip of my beer. I'm parched. 1002 right here. So the absorption came in later. 5 minute doesn't look good at all for any of those, but there was absorption on this candle. And it bounced off that absorption level right here. This, I guess, is just another wick off UWAP in the absorption level. I guess if it just keeps bouncing, you can keep taking it, you know? What does... You know, a little bit of bid down there, but nothing... I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of standout volume at the bottom there. Nothing, like, crazy convincing, you know? Then 15:30 is this one right here. Nothing really helpful on the 5 minute. And nothing on 1 minute. So, yeah, the order flow's there. Not the worst couple of days getting back. I don't really... Sorry. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, enjoy your night, fellas.